First up is Emperor Palpatine. He's running a level 9 Sith Lord build. So his main strategy is stacking his arsenal with a bunch of high DPS attacks. He's a master of the dark side of the Force. He has an absolutely broken electricity attack. But arguably his strongest moves are rage baiting and taunting.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy.
I mean, this dude can make fun of you to your face, get you all riled up, and then he can just start electrocuting you. That is just an absolutely unfair combo attack. And on top of that, he has high manipulation stats and is really good at convincing people to join the dark side of the Force.
Do it.
For example, one of his go-to moves is to pull out the Darth Plagueis the Y story. This gives him an insane boost to the persuasion stat.
Do you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
The only major downside with Palpatine's playstyle is that sometimes he's so over the top and unintentionally funny, and it gives him a massive intimidation debuff. So yeah, overall, Palpatine is kind of a glass cannon. On the one hand, he does have an insane arsenal of attacks, but he's also a total goofball who is really easy to make fun of.
I am the Senate.
And he's also vulnerable to having his minions turn against him. So I'm giving Palpatine a B tier. Regina George, she's running a level 8 Mean Girl build. And she actually has a really similar playstyle as Emperor Palpatine, because like Palpatine, she invested most of her skill points into taunting and rage baiting.
She is a fugly slut.
Just like Emperor Palpatine, Regina George's main strategy is basically just bullying people with high DPS verbal attacks.
Boo, you whore.
Plus, as the cherry on top, she also has maxed out manipulation and leadership stats. This gives her the ability to summon minions into battle. And you might be thinking that this is a pretty low DPS build compared to a Sith Lord like Palpatine, but keep in mind that she is strictly playing in a social hierarchy game mode. She's not trying to take over the galaxy, she's trying to take over a high school. So in terms of relative dominance over their own game mode, I would argue that Regina George actually has the superior arsenal of attacks over Palpatine.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, and she has another major similarity with Palpatine, which is that her only real weakness is that you can convince her minions to turn against her.
You can't sit with us!
But even with that weakness, Regina George is still running basically just a better version of Palpatine's build, so I'm giving her an A tier. Patrick Bateman, he's running a level 8 American Psycho build, and he's mainly known for running a stealthy axe murderer strategy. Basically, he's a psychopath who hides in plain sight by min-maxing his abilities to fit in with corporate America. So in order to do that, he pretty much just dumped a bunch of his skill points into niche attributes. For example, he has a maxed out skincare routine stat, he has the business card connoisseur perk, he filled up his inventory with expensive suits, he spends his free time power leveling his looks maxing stats, and on top of that, he has one of the highest music review stats in the entire game.
You like Huey Lewis on the news? The whole album has a clear, crisp sound and a new sheen of consummate professionalism. He's been compared to Elvis Costello.
So yeah, as far as evil playthroughs go, this is one of the most OP builds I've ever seen. You can pretty much just get away scot-free with being an unhinged psychopath because he cranked up his approval with the corporate America faction. I mean, this basically just gives him free reign to get away with the most heinous crimes imaginable. His stealth abilities are so overpowered that even a lot of the lower IQ segments of the audience thought he was a super cool Sigma male or some shit. I mean, this is just a ridiculously powerful build. I'm giving him an A tier. Voldemort, he's running a level 8 Dark Lord build. And I gotta be honest, this guy is one of the most overrated villains in the entire game. He is constantly getting hyped up as the most powerful, highest level Dark Wizard of all time. I mean, his intimidation stat is so high that everyone is scared to even say his name. They just call him he who must not be named and you know who. But then when it actually comes down to game time, he just gets outsmarted by 3 11-year-olds. I'm sorry, but Voldemort is kind of a fraud. If you're pretentious enough to change your name from Tom Riddle to Lord Voldemort, you better be able to back it up with results. This guy dedicates his career to antagonizing a school, and he still just gets defeated over and over again by a bunch of kids. So highest I can rank Voldemort is C tier. Koba from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He's running a level 9 bonobo build. And okay, sure, regular bonobos are highly intelligent and skilled animals, But if we're comparing them to a fucking Dark Lord or even just a regular human with weapons, bonobos do unfortunately have extremely weak combat stats. However, Koba is not a regular bonobo. This is a bonobo who can ride horses and wield assault rifles. He has a higher intelligence stat than the vast majority of humans. And you might be thinking, alright, cool, he's got a gun. Lord Voldemort can cast spells. How is this bonobo gonna compete against that? But I'm telling you right now, if there was a 1v1 between Lord Voldemort and a hyper-intelligent bonobo with an AK-47, I'm taking the bonobo any day of the week. Like, what is Voldemort even gonna do? He has never proven to have any defenses against advanced Muggle weaponry. He constantly gets outsmarted by these teenagers, and now he has to go up against this animal who has the primal instincts of a bonobo, but also having the intelligence stat that is higher than 90% of humans and the ability to wield assault rifles. Koba would just absolutely no-div Voldemort. And on top of that, he's just a fucking bonobo who stages a military coup against a chimpanzee. I mean, if you don't think that's awesome, then I don't know what to tell you. Koba goes into A tier. Miranda Priestly from The Devil Wears Prada. She's running a level 8 horrible boss build. And her strategy is very simple. She invested all of her skill points into fashion sense, snobbery, and passive aggressiveness.
Oh, hi.
And look, I'm not going to pretend that this gives her the raw military combat prowess of someone like Emperor Palpatine or Lord Voldemort. But again, you got to keep in mind, Miranda Priestly is strictly playing in a 9-to-5 office server. She is a workplace villain. She's not trying to achieve world domination. So in that context, in the game modes that she is playing in, Miranda Priestly has one of the highest DPS builds in the entire game.
You have no style or sense of fashion.
I mean, she can pretty much just obliterate people's HP with one snarky comment.
Is there anything else I can do? Your job.
This is a really solid build. I'm giving Miranda Priestly an A tier. Anakin Skywalker. He's running a level 7 Sith Apprentice build. And Anakin is a really tough villain to rate because in the late game when he upgrades to Darth Vader, he instantly becomes an S tier player with some of the best one-liners in the game.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
However, in the early game when he's just regular Anakin, he has some serious weaknesses. The main one being that he has an extremely low charisma stat. The most famous example of this is when he's trying to talk to Padme, and for some reason he just starts going off about how he hates sand.
I don't like sand.
I mean, it is funny in hindsight, but that is just one of the biggest aura debuffs I've ever seen. I mean, him trying to talk to Padme is so painful to watch. He's also super gullible. He falls for Palpatine's Darth Plagueis the Wise story hook, line, and sinker. That's just not gonna cut it. You can't be falling for that. I'll still give Anakin a B tier just because in the late game he upgrades to Darth Vader, but I can't give him too much of a pass just because of those cringy Padme dates. Thanos. He's running a level 9 supervillain build. So Thanos' strategy is basically just having the most overpowered combat abilities in the entire game. With that being said, his major flaw is that he has an extremely low intelligence stat. Like, this guy is an idiot. He has this plan to solve the problem of unsustainable resource consumption and overpopulation by wiping out 50% of the universe. And I'm sorry, but that is just an incredibly stupid plan. For example, on Earth, all he is doing is setting the world population back to about 3.85 billion people. That was just the world population in 1972. He's basically just delaying the problem for a few decades. Population is just gonna go right back to where it was pre-snap, and ultimately Thanos will have accomplished nothing. 50% is not nearly enough. He needs to bump those numbers up to like 99.9%. This idiot essentially has the powers of a god, yet he comes up with the stupidest method of accomplishing his goal. I mean, I just can't let this slide. Thanos gets a C tier. Jared Leto's Joker. He's running a level 1 edgelord build. And yeah, you already know it. This is some of the weakest gameplay I've ever seen. This guy tried to cut corners and use cosmetic mods to automatically unlock the edgelord build. For example, he has damage tattooed across his forehead. Like, he really thought he was doing something with that. I'm sorry, but this low-level wannabe edgelord gameplay just doesn't fly. I'm giving this an F tier. Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. He's running a level 9 human cephalopod hybrid build. And this guy's got one of the craziest character designs in the entire game. First of all, he's a pirate with the body of a human and the head of a mutant cephalopod. But then on top of that, he also has a lobster claw and a crab leg. So he's picking up some crustacean perks on the side. Plus, he's got a magical pirate ship with a whole crew of mutated freaks. He can summon the Kraken into battle, and he goes hard on the organ with his tentacle beard. I mean, this dude can just do everything. He's basically the quintessential Renaissance man of the high seas. So I gotta give him an S tier. Alright, those are some of the best and worst movie villains in the game.